Hey friends, welcome to Creative X. My name is Brad Hussey and I'm a web designer. The best way to get better at building websites without code is to build websites without code. I know, sounds kind of strange, infinite loop perhaps, but that's what it is. Repeat, build, keep going until the experience becomes less and less painful and you are actually excited about the end result. Because let's be honest, those first websites that we build, yuck. I mean, utterly repulsive clown vomit. We've all been there. I mean, at least I've been there. That was my experience. The first websites I've built were so bad that they burnt a hole in my hard drive, which is why I'm not going to show you them, because they're gone. Also, that's why I'm here today, is to help you. If you're in that stage right now and you want to get better at this, you want to look at what you make and go, wow, that's nice. Let's do that. So we're going to take this mockup that you see right now, and we're going to build it without code really quickly in Editor X. Let's go. All right, because we're cheap, because we're always looking for a bargain, I found this awesome mockup right here on frontendmentor.io. It's free. You don't need to pay for anything, so that's always good. You can start this challenge, download the assets, get the Figma file, whatever you need, and let's get into it. So here we are in Figma. This is the design. Let's take a quick lookie and just to make sure, we're on the right track here. Let's make a bit of a plan. So here's the desktop version, pretty standard, nice color scheme here. We got a logo, header, and we got a really grid heavy layout here. So we got a hero image, large typography. Over here, we got text and a button, sidebar with 3 repeatable items, kind of giving news updates. Down here, we've got 3 items here going horizontally across the screen. 1, 2, 3, image. Nice. Very good, super easy. Mobile experience, we got to design the mobile experience as well. So everything stacks on top, everything's linear in a vertical fashion. Very good. Simple. All right. And you know what? There's the menu, slides out. Perfect. All right. So let's head over to Editor X. Now, fun top tip, editorx.new in your browser bar creates a new, fresh Editor X website without going through all of the steps prior to. That is a pro tip that's going to save you at least 40 seconds. All right. So here's our fresh site. Let's make it happen. The first thing I'm going to do is start by uploading the assets that we need and we got from our Frontend Mentor. Easy, media manager. We're gonna upload some media, done. Now we have them in our media files. We'll come back to this. So in Editor X, we need to start with the site styles, always good, keeps things consistent. We're gonna start with our fonts and our colors so that we can always use them as we build the site, makes things nice and fast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rip through this, change all the headings and the paragraphs to the font that was provided to us in the assets from Frontend Mentor. So that's Inter is the font family. Let's make it happen. All right, now let's move over to colors. Let's check out our Figma file just to make sure we know what's up. So we've got this dark blue color here, dark space blue. We got the red, we got some grays, we got the screamy background. Let's get those colors added in there into our site styles library and make it happen. Throwing in our action color, that's that nice red. I'm gonna use the color range. It's gonna create a whole bunch of color ranges just in case we wanna use that. And then we have one more color to choose. We got this kind of gold, yellow. We're gonna add that in here. And that's all we need for colors. All right, so now let's start with this logo. We're gonna change this logo, change up the vector art. We got it in our site files, we uploaded it. It's right here, logo SVG, add to page, done. All right, I want the margins on the sides of this site to be 5% for everything. I want 5% from the left, 5% from the right. So this logo is going to be margins 5%. And this menu is going to be 5% from the right. And then any element and container that I add in this site is going to be 5% left, 5% right, so that we're always consistent no matter the breakpoint, no matter the viewport. Let's go. Next up, we got this menu. We got some pages, we got home, new, popular, trending categories, easy. We're not gonna create those pages, but what I can do just to make it look like we're done so far is I'm gonna go to the pages tab here and I'm gonna add those pages so that if you wanna keep building, you can add those pages. So we're gonna start there, then we're gonna add them dynamically to the menu. Let's go. Boom, cool. Head over to this menu here. Select the menu, we're gonna manage that. We're gonna add a new item, site pages, all pages. Done. And now we got to change this style because that doesn't look good. So we're going to open up the inspector panel here. We're going to choose our design and we're going to go to manage the actual menu items. So text, the color is going to be that gunmetal gray, and we got to change our theme to paragraph 1. That's looking better. Now, if I'm looking here in the design, we've got a hover. It's using our action red. So now I'm going to choose hover, and the hover color is going to be that action red. I also want clicked to be that action red as well. Maybe a darker one, just there we go. So if you're active on the page, it's going to be that darker red. If you hover, it's that red. Actually, I'm going to change it so that you're active on the page. It's going to be that action red as well. Just easier to see. Perfect. Menu is done. What's next? We got this whole section here. So what I'm going to do is in this blank section, I'm going to toss in a container. Boom. There's the container like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it out, change that background to just be fully no opacity, 0% opacity. So it's just translucent. Is that the word? You can't see it. No color. Now, this to me is a perfect use case for grid. So using CSS grid in Editor X, we can actually edit and customize the grid straight on the canvas, drag some lines in, then we can get more precise. Click that, boom. We're gonna say, you know, we want 1, 2. So we got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 columns here. So this is easy, watch this. Now I'm gonna say done. And I'm gonna say 1 FR, 1 FR, and 1 FR. So FR is a fractional sizing unit. It's relative so that it says this row or this column rather is gonna take 1 fraction of the available space, 1 fraction of the available space, 1 fraction. If I wanted this to be 2 fractions of the available space, you could see that that's 2 times the size of the prior column. So we're gonna say 1, 1, 1, they're all equal. Beauty. What else do we have? We've got a row here. Let's make a row. So I'm gonna go back to customize grid on canvas. We're gonna drag this down. So we're gonna say the row is somewhere there. Okay, and now what I wanna do is I want to put some gutters in between each of these cells. So I'm gonna open up the inspector panel while I got the grid selected. Gutters, gaps is what they call it here in Editor X. I'm gonna say 30 pixels, 30 pixels. Okay, so now what I wanna do is I wanna get some space here. I wanna say this is a minimum height of 260. Okay, so I'm gonna choose the height of this is actually gonna be a min-max, and the minimum height is gonna be 260 pixels, and the maximum is gonna be max content. So it's gonna fill whatever the content is in here. If it's bigger than 260, the size, the height of this row will grow with it. Okay, so there it is. We're gonna do the same thing here. We've got our grid. So now let's start placing some content. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select that image from our media uploads right here. It's this image right here. So I added it in here and I could either stretch it, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna make the width 100%. And now it's gonna fill, it's gonna be the right proportions of this image. And you see how the height stretched out? It's because that row is set to max content. So now it's gonna fill out that space. Whereas if I go back and I stretch it, it's not gonna push that row down because it's just gonna kind of act as kind of like a background image and fill what's available here. But I want the image to retain its proportions. So I made its width 100% and it made that whole row taller because of the max content property. Okay, so now looking here, remember how I said I want 5% margins left and right? Let's make it happen. So I'm gonna select this container and I'm gonna go to my margins and I'm gonna say 5% on the left, 5% on the right. Now we're lining up nicely with that logo. Very good. Okay, let's add that text, the paragraph, and the button. That can happen real fast. All right, and we're gonna add the content. We got the bright future of Web 3.0, question mark? Yes, it is a question mark because I've yet to get a good explanation of what Web 3.0 is. It's vague at best, but we're gonna roll with it. We're rolling with it. I'm gonna scale this text too. This is large, but I want this text to scale dynamically based on the viewport. So we're selecting that text. We're gonna turn on scale text. So that's gonna scale with the viewport. Nice. Let's add some text. We got a paragraph. Throwing in our paragraph style here. There it is. We're gonna change up that color. And then we have one more thing. We got that button. We're gonna throw that button in. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose button, but I'm gonna choose a styled button. because I want some finite, fine-tuned control of the button style. So we got basic and styled. Basic is basic. Everyone knows basic. Styled is, if you're feeling stylish. So I'm feeling stylish and I want extra control over my buttons. So I'm selecting this. I don't like this customize. I don't like this fill. So I'm going to choose color. I'm going to choose my action red. Remove any other colors that are on top of it. Nice. Do a little alignment. Now, before I style even more, I'm going to select these two. Multi-select, shift, select 2 items. They're vertical on top of each other. Stack it up. Now I can put some margins in between. And these elements now are aware of one another. Now they can kind of grow and move, and they know that they're there. So perfect. Let's make it happen. We got 30 pixels in between. Looks good to me. There it is. Okay, buttons looking good. I'm happy with that. Now we have our sidebar right here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add in a container. It's going to fill it that dark gray, black blue color. And then we've got 3 identical items. So this is going to be using a repeater in a row. So let's make it happen. I'm going to add in a container. Stretch that out, but I want it to stretch these 2 cells. I want it to span across this row and this row. So in our layouts under the inspector panel, location in the grid cells, this one, holding shift, and this one. Nice. Background color is that dark from our site styles. Beauty. Now I want padding within this container before I go any further. So in padding, I'm going 30 pixels locked all around. Boom. Now let's throw in that text. I'm going to go to my text. Let's take in like a heading 3. And we need to change up the styles. The color of this is going to be that gold color. And it's going to say news. Make sure we're docked left and top. Very good. It says new, but I think news makes more sense. Now we've got a repeater. So here's how we make that happen. We're going to go layout tools, repeaters. I'm selecting this one right here. We got a bunch of other options we can choose that are pre-designed. I'm just choosing this basic one and we're going to style it up accordingly. So I want it to be in the list display type. We're going to make sure that it is aligned. We're going to make sure that it's 100% width, aligned up. Okay, so now let's just make sure an item, this is all very tall and hard to see. So I'm just going to make this a little smaller for now. And I want to stack the repeater and this title. So now they're aware of one another. As we resize, as the viewport resizes, those won't overlap. They're now aware. They're siblings within their container. So now item spacing, we're going 30 pixels. This seems to be the magic number in this site. 30 pixels is your gutters, your margins, spaces. Lovely. Okay, so now obviously that doesn't look very good. So we're going to change up the style of an item. We're just going to remove the background altogether. And this is where we're going to start adding some content. So we have text. Let's throw in like an H4. Make sure we can see it. That looks much better to me. So let's add some copy in here. Hydrogen versus electric cars. All right. Now let's add a paragraph tag. We're going to choose this smaller P3 style, attach it to this first item. Now we're going to make sure we can see it. Space it out, stretch it out. We want these to be a stack so that they are aware of each other. We're just going to give 10 pixels in between the spacing of these. Now we want to align this. Let's make the text say something meaningful. Now there's one more thing that we need to add here. We have a line. Let's add a line. Just going to grab this top one, attach it to this stack. Change the line color, 100%. Align it up. And now we're going to give a margin top of like 30 pixels. And let's do margin bottom of 30 pixels. Let's add some extra copy here while we're here. Why not? Little change to the styles here. Now you'll notice any changes I make to one item in the repeater affects the styles of all the other items in the repeater. That's because it's a repeater. It repeats the style of all the items. So you change one item's style, it'll change all the other items' style. It's nice. It keeps it consistent. All right. So last bit here, we've got this is going to be another repeater. So check this out. I'm going to add a new section. It's going to be blank. And let's grab another repeater. And we'll actually choose the same thing we did before. I'm going to attach it. And this is in card format. So I'm going to leave it in card format. We're only going to use 3 items. So that works for me. here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stretch this out as well. All right, so I'm gonna select this section here, and I'm gonna make the minimum height just like 150 pixels. And then I want some padding here on top and bottom. Let's do 30 pixels top, 30 pixels bottom. Now, and I also want 5% on the left, 5% on the right. So now we're all aligned up. This is looking good. Now, these spaces in between, I want those gaps to be 30 pixels as well. So now we're looking nice and aligned. You can see we got our nice grid style layout. So let's start making this happen. Let's select the first repeater item. And that item, I want to say is going to be, well, it's going to be a grid actually. We're going to choose customize grid on canvas. And we're just going to drag it somewhere around here. And that looks fine to me. So now it's going to repeat across all the items. So they're all a grid. Nice. Let's remove that background. We don't need that salmon background. Let's add our image. I'm going to drag this in. I'm going to attach it to that first cell. And I'm going to stretch it. Cool. And maybe what we'll do is we'll just make it a minimum height. So we're going to select this row and I'm going to do min max 150 pixels. Min max is going to be max content so that if the content grows, well, that will grow with it and they'll all grow with it and be uniform in height because they're repeaters. Okay, so that's good. Now let's add some text. We're going to align this. This is going to be that number and then text and then body copy. Okay. All right, and now looking at it here, this is looking a little bit tight here. So what I'm gonna do is select this section and I want in the inspector panel, I want the section to have padding at the bottom of 30 pixels and also 30 pixels in the top. Give it more breathing room from the header and from the next section. Let's give it a little preview. Okay, so desktop, this is looking really good. Super good. Oh yeah. That's what's up. And now we need to switch down to tablet view. Let's see, tablet. Okay, as I get down in the desktop breakpoint, you can start to see something breaking up here. So what I'm gonna do is actually adjust this element. I want it to be maybe a stretch. Let's stretch that image out. I know I didn't want to stretch it initially, but now I'm going to. We're gonna stretch it, but we're gonna make the minimum height something more generous, like 320. So now, if we check it out, that looks way better. Okay, very good. Now, if I wanted this to be less tall, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scale the text here so it scales down as the viewport shrinks so that it looks a little, you know, it's still in desktop view, but this layout is starting to break up a little bit for me. So we're gonna edit that, choose this repeater. We're gonna select this text, this heading right here, style. We want scale text. Top end is going to be 24 pixels. Bottom end, let's do 16 pixels. And then the edit text on this one, scale it. We're going to do top end 16 pixels, bottom end 12. Okay. And this text up here, scale it. Let's do top end 50, bottom end 32. Okay. Now this should be a little more of a proper ratio. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. The padding is a bit generous here, but that's okay, it's fine. This down here obviously doesn't look that good. So maybe what I'll do is I'll give more space for the image in the grid. So let's make this like 1 FR and this one 3 FR. Maybe we did like 0.7 FR and 1.3 FR. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I want these images to fill the height as well. So I'm going to unstretch and I'm going to say width is 100%. Yes. Now those images are going to look a little bit better. One last preview on desktop. Okay. Now our alignment's messed up. Let's just make sure we're docked to the top on this repeater item. Let's dock it up to the top. Okay. Final check on desktop. Yes. Much better. Now we're about to break down to tablet. Boom, here's tablet. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start modifying this design. still think we can work with this in tablet. This tablet goes to about here. There's the smallest range of the tablet view, and that's acceptable. It's fine. Maybe I'll adjust on tablet the padding. So let's do that to give some more spacing. So in our grid here, I'm going to change and half these gaps to 15, half the padding in this container to 15 all around. That gives us more breathing room. Nice. This looks good. Okay, down here, I want to take this repeater. The grid in here, I want it to go from a 2x1 to a 1x2. Let's take the minimum height of this image, make it just like 100, half it up. And then we're going to turn off scale proportionally for this one. And the height's just going to be auto. No, we're going to take this, we're going to stretch it. Yes, that's better. So a desktop, it's going to be 100%. Tablet, it's going to be stretched. Yes, that looks better to me. Okay, that works. Now let's break down to our mobile. Okay, so we obviously need to change that up because in our design, this is linear, like vertically linear. So we're going to select this layout, and instead of a 3x2, we're going to change it up to just all rows, like a 1x6 here. I'm going to select this stack and I'm going to move it up to this cell right here. Change up some heights in these rows. This row here, we don't need it, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete it right here. And then down here in the design, what do we got? Okay, they just stack, but there's still a grid here. Well, not stack, because stack is an actual layouting tool in Editor X. So they are on top of one another vertically, but we still have a grid-based layout. So what we're going to do is switch this back to a list. And then we're going to select the grid inside an item, change that to a 2x1. There we go. All right, so we'll select the button, give that some bottom margin of 60 pixels. Maybe 30, magic number. Now we got that breathing room. Okay, let's check out our mobile menu. Click this, open menu. By default, Editor X creates this for us. It looks awesome. We got a little bit of adjustment to do. Nothing crazy, selecting that menu. We're going to change the layout to left aligned. And I want it to be a thinner font weight, so enter regular. Let's give it some top margin, 60 pixels. And that we're going to preview. All right, here we are, desktop. This looks good. Scale it down to our tablet. This looks nice. And then finally down to mobile. Beautiful. Wow, it's perfect. That was awesome and done in record time. Now it's your turn. You go try. Now that we went through this, you walked through, you see how it works, you go download the assets. The links are down below. Make sure you do that. Hey, and if you like this, if you like these build videos, let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments. Better yet, join us in the Creative X crew. It's a free community with web designers, graphic designers, UX designers, no coders. We're all there. We're meeting once a week, doing office hours. We're building things together. We're helping each other out, and we're succeeding together. That's what it's all about. Hey, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you, and I'll catch you in another one. Bye-bye.